Thanksgiving is right around the corner and we are making easy apple crumb pie today. So if that sounds interesting to you or something that you want to try, just stick around. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kimmy. This is my attic, and as stated earlier, today we are doing something a little different. We may have to leave the attic for this one. We are going to make some apple crumb pie. We're going to make some easy apple crumb pie. Like I said, Thanksgiving, it's this week, so if you are looking for a very easy dessert to make that's really classical, like most people like it. Most people like apple crumb pie at Thanksgiving. I don't think you can go wrong with this one, and I'm telling you, it is so easy. Why is it so easy? My secret ingredient. Pillsbury pie crust. I wanted to get this out there very early. If you are looking for a video where you're gonna make the pie crust, this is not for you. If you are looking for something super easy, where we are going to use pre-made pie crust, this video is probably for you. Let me just tell you real quick, okay? This is kind of a funny story. So, like I said, most people like apple crumb pie at Thanksgiving, or some form of apple something at Thanksgiving, and my family is no different. And like one of the favorite things, like my dad, his favorite dessert in general for any time is apple crumb pie. So I'm from Long Island, and we have like a lot of, like probably like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour away. We have like a lot of farms, a lot of like pie stands, stuff like that. I don't live out east. I live more towards the city. But it's a very short drive to go get to those things. So it kind of became a tradition in my house where every year we would get some kind of like apple stand, farm, apple pie, whatever. But you know, it's a pain in the butt. It really is, because you have to go. There's always a crowd of people. Then there's security. There's crowds gone wild between who has an order, who doesn't have an order. It's just chaos. It's freaking bedlam. And I just want to tell you something real quick. Okay, this has stuck in my mind for many, many years, and I'm glad to finally get it off my chest. I have to tell you my pie story. Okay, I want to tell you my pie story. Like 3 years ago, about 3 years ago, I was having a very rough holiday season. I was feeling very depressed. I was feeling very alone. I'm sorry. I know this is a video about pie. Okay. I have a point to make. I have a point to make. A lot of people feel like that during the holidays. It's not unusual. Anyway, I was in charge of getting the pie for Thanksgiving. Okay. No big deal. So Thanksgiving Eve, it was Wednesday. I had gotten stuck working late as usual. So by the time I got out to the mill, the apple mill, it's about maybe 25 minutes from my house. It's not far. But by the time I got there, it was like dark outside. At this particular place, you have to like park on the street. It's a very busy road, so you just have to kind of hope you don't get hit by a car as you make your way to the apple mill. There's like no sidewalk. So I made it there. It was freezing outside. And when I finally got there, there was this really just long, chaotic lines. There were multiple lines, and I didn't know what line to get on. It was like the DMV. So I figured the shorter line had to be the people with the orders, because you could place orders. I didn't have an order, so I got on the longer line, which I thought was the right thing to do. Turns out that was the order line. It was the opposite way, because apparently a lot of people had placed orders that year. They had messed up orders. Everybody was fighting. Somebody might not get the pie they ordered. The end of the world, the apocalypse was coming. It was chaos. Okay, so finally I got to the front of this line, and all I want to do is get my pie and go home. I was already like on the verge of tears for a whole bunch of other reasons, and I see these like security guards, apple pie security guards, older men, right? And I thought they would be nice. They looked like older, sweet men. And this one guy, he comes up to me and he says, "What's your name?" And I said, "My name." "Your name for your order." I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. "Your name for your order." I said, "Sir, I don't have an order." "You know you're on the order line." I said, "No, I didn't know I was on the order line. I thought that was the order line." You would have thought I committed a felony. And he says, well, you know, you could have been on that short line. You could have been in and out. Now, you're just going to get whatever's left over. All these people have orders because the people, I guess, that were left had orders. I don't even know. Okay? It was one of those stupid things that happens to you, but like you never forget it. I'm telling you. And I was like, if I ever have to come back to this place, if I never have to come back to this place, it's too damn soon. And by the way, if you're watching, pie security guy, I did get what I wanted. I got my order. I wanted one thing. I was in, I was out. And the people working there were fine. They were lovely. It was like, I guess maybe from standing around people all day that were upset that they might not get their Thanksgiving dessert. I don't know. You know, when I was very young, and I mean like 16, I had a job in a bakery. And there was a year, it wasn't Thanksgiving, it was Christmas. Or it might have been Thanksgiving. I don't know, I've tried to block it out of my head. My coworker, I'll never forget this, Maria, her name was Maria. She wrote down, she was supposed to write all the orders in the back. So when the bakers came in, they knew what to do. And she was supposed to do it by time. She was supposed to write out everything by time of what was wanted. She was the senior person, so she was supposed to do it. I was supposed to clean the front of the bakery, which I did. Anything that had no time, because sometimes people came in, you were supposed to ask what time they were going to pick it up, but sometimes they didn't give you a time, so you wouldn't write a time. Anything that didn't have a time, she didn't write. So those orders were never made. And there was bedlam. Like, that's another thing I'll never forget. Oh my God, people were so mad. So maybe that was what happened and that was their problem, but whatever it was horrendous. And like, I would just, I hated going there. It should have been fun, right? But I hated it. So the following year, my boss, my ex-boss, she's not at the company anymore. She had a little Thanksgiving Day party for us, and she brought this pie, and it was so good. It tasted like a pie from the farm. And I said, oh, Betsy, her name is Betsy. Hi, Betsy, if you're watching. She's probably not, but you never know. I said, where did you get this? And I thought she was going to say the Apple Mill, because that's what it tasted like. They do have excellent pies. And she said, no, I made it. I said, what do you mean you made it? She's like, I made it. It's very easy. And I was a little bit, I like to bake. I've always liked to bake, but I never made pies because to me, they always seemed very complicated. I thought that I probably couldn't do it, but she gave me the recipe and you know what? It was so easy. And ever since then, I'm done with that farms. I'm done with the frickin' Apple Mill. I just make my own. So if you like apple crumb pie and you hate going to these places and waiting and getting yelled at by the Apple security guards, then I highly suggest you try this recipe. Now, I am not 100% sure where this recipe came from because like I said, Betsy doesn't work with us anymore. She left. So if you do, I will go ahead and just write it down below. But if you happen to see it and you want to let me know, you see it's floating around there somewhere on the internet, I would love for you to let me know so that I could link it because I'm not really sure where it came from. But with that said, let's go ahead and make some apple pie. I'm going to tell you what we need to get started, what you'll need to make this, and then we're going to head down to the kitchen and we're going to throw it together. All right, guys, so really kind of just standard baking ingredients. Sorry, I'm holding the camera. I'm just trying not to shake it. So yeah, basically all you need is these. So you're going to need some butter. This recipe takes 2 sticks plus, sorry, I have it in front of me, 2.5 sticks of butter. The whole recipe takes 2.5 sticks of butter. We're going to need 2¼ cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar. Like I said, I will write all of this down below. 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 6 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. You need some vanilla. Then, baking tins, don't forget your baking tins unless you have like a pie tin that you use or like a pie plate, excuse me, that you use. I don't, so I just purchased these from the dollar store. And of course we are going to need our apples. Once again, our Granny Smith apples make an appearance. If you saw my candy apple video, you know what I mean by that. Again, you always want to use Granny Smith apples whenever you are making anything sweet with apples because they have a very tart flavor, so it kind of goes well with the like sweet flavor. You don't want to use sweet apples with sweet like sweet apples in a sweet recipe you don't want to do. You always want to use Granny Smiths. So you're going to need like 5 to 6 Granny Smith apples. I have 6. And of course, your handy dandy pie crust. Now you can, if you want to make your own pie crust, you absolutely can. And still use the rest of this recipe to make like the filling and the crumb topping. So that's up to you. But I'll tell you right now, I am using my Pillsbury crust. And unlike the candy apple situation, okay, if you saw that video, you know it was a bit of a disaster. But I've done this before. I know how to do this. This comes out really, really, really good. In my defense, I had never made those caramel apples before, so I really didn't know what I was getting into. But this, I'm very familiar with it. I know what I'm doing, so let's go down to the kitchen. Let's get started. Totally unrelated, we are down in my kitchen, and I just have to show you my chandelier. Isn't it pretty? Do you remember when I was telling you like where I got my dolls at the estate sales? They used to have them out on the island. They don't have them anymore. Yeah, I got this there. Isn't it gorgeous? Okay, I just wanted to show you. All right, guys, so here we are. We are in my kitchen. Now, this is by far the most tedious part of this whole thing. You have to peel and cut the apples. So I am going to use a vegetable peeler. I guess you could use a knife, but I think a vegetable peeler is easier. I got this one at the dollar store. And yeah, so you just peel the apple. Oh, that happens, but you can cut it out. It doesn't really matter. Maybe you can just, yeah, we can actually just shave it right off. This isn't the best one. Some people have really, really good peelers. I guess it depends how much you really do. Like if you peel like a lot of carrots or a lot of potatoes, you probably have this somewhere. So yeah, so like I said, this is the most tedious part of this whole thing. We have to peel and cut the apples. After that, it's nothing. I mean, even this is not hard, but it's just like probably the worst part of it. I'd still rather do this than go to that freaking apple mill again. Do you know there's a YouTube channel called Kimmy's Kitchen? Isn't that funny? No relation. I happened to stumble upon it the other day. It came up, I guess, because I'm Kimmy's addict, and they think that Kimmy should stick together. We should. Kimmy should stick together. Why not? I'm actually going to check it out because it looks like she makes some cool things. I'm not much of a cook. I'm really not. I feel like I'm constantly working. I'm one of those people who like, but I probably bake more than I cook. Not probably, I do. Bake more than I cook. Not that I bake so much either, but it is what it is. What do you guys like to do? Do you guys like to bake? Do you guys like to cook? Are you cooking for Thanksgiving? I actually am. I got stuck with it this year. God only knows how that's going to come out. I'm not going to be putting no recipes up. Because like I said, I'm not the best. I'll probably be searching YouTube for recipes. Okay. So I basically have 1 apple peeled. The only thing that I know how to make really good is that string bean casserole. With the Campbell's soup. Maybe I'll just make a whole lot of that. And a pie. And call it a day. Okay. So there we go. There's our apple. So now we're just going to cut it up into little pieces. Sorry. Was that a very unpleasant noise? It probably was. Okay. So, like, not like tiny pieces, you know, like pie pieces. If you've ever ate a pie, you kind of know. You know where we're going with this. These are like the pieces that are going to be in your pie. So that's it. So, I would say about like that. I would love to get some awesome, really good knives. I know I just said I don't cook. But maybe if I had like some good, I don't know. That's stupid. If I had some good knives, I would cook. These knives are not the best. But like that's about the size. That's about the size that you want. And that's it. Like I said, this is the most tedious part of this whole thing. But we already have 1 done. 5 to go. Or 4 to go. Is it 5 to 6? But like I said, I have 6 apples. I'll just use them all. So I have 1 done. And I have 5 to go. So I'm going to do that. about. I'll cut that one. Okay. So yeah, that's our first apple done. 5 more to go. So I have cut up all of my apples and I put them in a bowl. Here they are. This is 6 apples. So now the next step, oh, and I also preheated the oven to 400 degrees. So once you get your apples cut, peeled and cut, I would go ahead and preheat the oven to 400 degrees and then you mix up your crumbs, which is what we're gonna do now. So I took 2 sticks of butter. Here they are. Whoops. Okay, so I have 2 sticks of butter. I'm going to microwave this. You want to melt it fully and then let it fully cool. So that's the next step. All right, guys, so it's time to make our crumbs. So in this bowl, this is just 2 1/4 cups of flour. That's all that is. I did melt our butter. You can see it's over there. It is cooling off. So to this, we're just gonna add all our dry products. So we have to add 2 cups of sugar. So here's 1 cup. There we go. And I'm gonna get another cup. And then we're just gonna add a little bit of cinnamon and some baking powder. And that's it. Get a little bit more. It takes 2 teaspoons of, 2 teaspoons? Yeah, 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 6 teaspoons of cinnamon. So another cup of sugar. And then, where's my teaspoon? Oh, here it is. Okay, so 2 baking powder. 2 teaspoons. 1. 2. Okay, and then we're going to add 6 teaspoons of cinnamon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So at this point, the butter should be relatively cool. So what you want to do, you're going to put 2 teaspoons of vanilla into the butter. Let me try to situate the camera so I can do this and show you. Okay. So we are going to we'll move the powder dry over here. Make sure it's cool. It should be cool. We're just going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and then all you do is add the butter to the dry mixture and mix it up, and it kind of just forms crumbs. And it kind of just does it on its own. It's really cool. The first time I did this, I really didn't understand how this was gonna form crumbs, but you'll see. It's magic, I tell you. Okay. You need a fork. You do need a fork. You need a fork to do this. You kind of form the crumbs with the fork. So, okay. So you're just gonna go like this. So all you do is you dump this in. And then you just kind of mix it in, and as you mix it in, it just like forms crumbs. Like you'll see them like start to form. I have to put more. I think you just dump it all in. I was gonna say you dump it in a little at a time. It doesn't say, and I don't remember, but just doing it, it makes sense that you would just like dump it all in. Hope that light's good. You can already see them like forming. Can you see like the crumbs forming? But like, see like the fork, you just kind of like, well, it's going. You kind of just like mix it with the fork kind of just like helps them to form. And that's it. This is the crumb. And then all we, sorry, I knocked into the camera. Okay, so then all we do after this is we just put it together. So we take our pie crust and we put it in the tin and we put our apples on top. And then it takes butter, like you put more butter on top of the apples just so that they melt. Like it like kind of like melts it all together. And then I think, what else goes? Something else goes. Oh, a little bit more cinnamon. You just like sprinkle it. And then we just put the crumbs on top. And that's it. Bake it in the oven for, I think it goes, you have to change the temperature. I remember that. I had to check the recipe. I'll let you guys know. You let it bake for like a certain amount of time and then you have to change the temperature. I do remember that. All right, so that's it. So that's kind of what the crumbs look like. Like you really shouldn't have any powder. So I'm just gonna like finish just like mixing this in. Like you have like a little powder at the bottom, but that's it. So yeah, so that's the crumbs. So we're gonna put this together. Okay, so I took the pie crust out. This looks like this. It kind of looks like a tube. And then you just like roll it out. This part's basically self-explanatory. Like the dough just kind of, it's not really cooperating. Sticking together, okay. I think once you get it started, yeah, so it just like rolls out. That piece, you don't want like any piece that's like broken because it can, I guess, burn a little. So you just kind of try to pat it down and we're going to remove the excess. So, I mean, honestly, you can just like tear it. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna like tear it right off. You just don't want it to burn. Like if it's like on, like coming off the ends like that, it could burn. And like that's not good. And then, so that's like our pie. That's the base of our pie, folks. And if you want to get like fancy, you can like, what do they call it? But you're not going to see this. You're not going to really see this part, but you can do this. There's a name for this. I don't know it off the top of my head. All right, so there is our crust. And then we're going to take our apples and we're going to put them in. It says 5 to 6. You could probably do 5. This is 6. I think it's a little too many. You want to try to make it like somewhat even. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of going to go all over the place, you'll see. But you want to try to make it a little bit even. I think that's good. All right. So then We're going to add a little bit of cinnamon sugar and we're going to add a little butter. Okay, so half a stick of butter, and you just like cut it into little pieces and like just like kind of just situate it around. Just like put it anywhere, just like spread it out. I remember like I had no idea why you had to do this, so I read, and I think it like kind of melts like the apples into each other or something. I don't know, something like that. I still don't quite understand what it does, but I know that you're supposed to do this. And I guess, yeah, it makes sense actually. So I'm going to put some gloves on. I'm going to resituate the camera a little bit, and I'm going to put some gloves on. You don't, I mean, obviously it's up to you. You don't have to wear gloves. But when we put the crumb top on, it does kind of like go like under your nails and whatever. So you might want to get yourself a pair of gloves to do it. Okay. And then 1 teaspoon or a half a teaspoon, whatever you want, of cinnamon sugar just kind of goes on top. So I guess it depends. Like, just like that. Okay. Ooh. That was a little much. All right. Well. Anyway. Okay. I'm going to get some gloves on. I'm going to resituate, and we're just going to put the top on. Alright, so change of plans. I was going to wear the gloves, but you know what? I took them out and I put them on, and oh my goodness, they had a funky smell, and I didn't want it to go in the pie. So you know what? I'm just going to suck it up. I'm going to use my hands. So I washed them good, obviously. Yeah, our crumbs have really formed. Like just by sitting, they've like really formed. So you might either want to get some gloves, or you might just want to make sure that you don't have a manicure when you do this. So all you do is put the crumbs on top. Ooh! Crumbs going everywhere, folks. That's it. You just place them. Alright guys, so that is our finished product. We're going to put it in the oven for 15 minutes at 400 degrees. And then after 15 minutes, you're going to turn it down to 350, and you're going to leave it in there another 40 minutes. So I will see you after that. Okay guys, so there it is. That is the finished product. You could always like put some confectionery sugar or something on it, but honestly I don't think it needs it. I would take it out of the oven and let it cool off for at least a half an hour. This isn't even that. I would probably let it totally cool before I cut it, but I am going to cut it just so we can see how it looks. Okay guys, so I did go ahead and cut into it, and that's what the inside looks like. It came out really, really good. I'm gonna zoom. Oh, I'm zooming the wrong way. Okay, I know the light's not the best. It's very dark in this kitchen, and it's like fully below nighttime now. So anyway, it did come out really, really good. Like I said, you could throw some confectionery sugar on it, but it's really not necessary. And yeah, there it is. I did try it, so it did come out really good. But like I said, I would wait till it's fully cool to cut it. Okay, guys, so we have a special guest for the outro, and this time it's not Adam. It's my father.
Hi, gang.
He has stopped by to try the pie. Dad, what do you think? It came out good, right?
Let me see. Oh my God, 4 stars, it's delicious.
You heard it here, folks. 4 stars, it's delicious. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. Let me know if you try this pie. Again, I will leave the instructions in the description box. And if you know where it came from, then I'll link it. So please let me know. Let me know what you're cooking for dessert or Thanksgiving. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, please let me know if you try this recipe. If you like this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. We talk about it all in the attic and in the living room, apparently, and in the kitchen. So once again, guys, thanks for joining me. And until next time, take care of yourselves so you can take care of someone else. I love you so much. Bye-bye. Say bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.